Miss, may you repeat what I have to do?
You always forget. Okay, I come back. Well, actually, it's like you introduce yourself by a little bit explaining, I'm sorry, about your family, about your educational background, and this one, sir. Okay, so would you mind introducing yourself? We start our speaking IELTS task 1. For the task 2, later on, you're going to read the cue card and then you are going to do your speech around in between 1.5 until 2 minutes until your evaluator stop you. And then the last one is going to be task 3 discussion about the general topic related to the given topic in task 2. Okay, so we shall begin our speaking IELTS task 1. Elizabeth, introduce about yourself, sir.
Just to reiterate, this is me just talking about my name and like talking about my passport, if I'm
Here,
not
here.
mistaken.
Can you see
Oh,
in
I see, I
front of
see.
you here?
I see, I see, I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. I should start.
Yes, you may start now, a little bit explaining. Only a little bit explaining. Later, your evaluator will ask you more. Yeah, so you prepare until 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 line here, and then let your evaluator ask you question. Okay.
Right. So shall I start?
Yes, start, sir.
Very
Start.
well. Hello. Hello, thank you for the time you've given me. I would like to personally introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Frederick Celestio, but you can call me Jonathan.
Right. So,
So
where currently you are living?
currently I'm living in Jakarta.
In Jakarta is your hometown.
Yes, it is indeed my hometown.
You are still living with your family?
I am indeed still living with them.
Yeah, because you are still pursuing your study in high school, yes?
Indeed, that is true.
Okay. Jakarta is capital city, yes? Would you like to describe a little bit more about Jakarta and the strategy how to live there anyway? By using what kind of transportation and explain the best accommodation to live there happily.
Hmm. I think the best way to live there is it depends on where you live. There are some pretty cheap places you can go to. One of them is the food by the side of the road. We call it tek tek, and it's actually pretty cheap food. As for living costs, you're going to want to live in a place that's cheap. Jakarta is quite expensive, so renting an apartment isn't a bad idea.
The pollution is really affecting the people, yeah? Okay. Regarding the special event that probably you have in your hometown in Jakarta, are there special events that is interesting for the
Jakarta doesn't
tourists to come?
Jakarta doesn't really have that much special events. It's hmm. Jakarta doesn't have much special events. Every day is an uneventful day, in my opinion. Of course, New Year is eventful, but that's honestly just it.
Okay, sir. Related to the hobby, what hobby that you are used to do?
Usually, I like to read books. Maybe I'd like to play games about history as well. It's honestly quite a likable hobby, in my opinion.
Can you do that activity regularly with your hustle bustle?
May you repeat that?
with all the hustle bustle of doing school chores and any other activity related probably your family, can you still do your hobbies, sir? If you live in
Yeah,
Jakarta, since it's traffic jam and then takes lots of time to move to one area.
of course, there's always still time. It's not so much that there isn't a lot of time. It's more so that you just need to find time. Sometimes people like to skip what they do and just like to play instantly. But I do my work so I can enjoy my break much later on. So yes, there is enough time to do my hobbies.
Or enough time. Okay, thank you. That will be it for the speaking IELTS task one. Yeah. We continue with the speaking IELTS
Okay.
two, that you are going to get a questions and then you prepare for that questions for 1 minute preparation. And after that, you are going to make a speech regarding the given topic. Make sure that you do it in between 1.5 minutes until 2 minutes or until your evaluator stop you. Yeah. So you don't stop unless your evaluator stop you because they keep the timing. Okay. Now this is the question that you get. No, you get this one already. Okay. This is the question that you get, sir, for the speaking IELTS task 2. Your 1 minute preparation start now. Very well, sir. You may start now.
When I think about terrible and horrific experiences, I think about the time where one of my family members had to go through a surgery. So it was a really calm day, but suddenly one of my cousins had something stuck in his nose and we couldn't take it out. So he went to the doctor. Eventually, it turns out we needed to do a surgery on him. And well, it was a bit terrifying because, like, out of the blue, suddenly he has to do a surgery when we were just hanging out, I suppose. It's honestly kind of shocking, and I definitely didn't expect that to happen.
It's still 1 minute, sir. Continue.
See,
You can express your feeling more and then who involved in the situation like that. Yeah.
oh, I see. So, I myself was already there when it happened, but of course, there was my family members, like my mother, and then there was also myself. There were the cousin that was there, my uncle was also there. It was, well, I guess I could say I'd never want to see that happen again to anyone, but especially a family member of mine again for that to happen. I don't think I want to see it again. I personally wish that never happens. But if it does happen, I think it will be extremely horrific.
Yeah, that would be it for the speaking IELTS task 2. We continue to the speaking IELTS task 3. the speaking IELTS task 3, it will be related to the speaking IELTS task 2, the topic, but it's about general questions. For example, like this. So, in relationship with the horrific or terrible experience that people have in their life, yeah, there will be certain trauma that the people will will be in for the rest of their life, yeah. If in several countries that there will be a healing trauma which will help them to recover. Well, how about the situation of that in your country? Is it happening? For example, when the people get robbery, there will be the action from the government to deal certain trauma.
What do you mean?
In terms of getting certain trauma because of one hell of a horrific experience in the daily life. Yeah. If in other country there will be a healing trauma surveillance, yeah, from the government, which they get the help about the psychologists and other that they need to recover from the trauma. How about in your country? That situation or that help also comes from the government?
Oh, you mean trauma that can come from the government?
Yes, healing trauma.
No, the government doesn't really have that sort of things. They they don't really have much to begin with, actually, now that I think about it a lot. Which I guess is sort of bad if you think about it. But it is what it is, I suppose. Uh, excuse me? Am I supposed to say anything else? Did I do something wrong?
Sorry, John. There is a ghost and come, so I have to understand. Okay. So, there will be no healing trauma, and then there will be no assistance, yeah, to solve the problem. In terms of the situation in your own country, that's horrific situation, not related to uh, home situation, yeah, but more to the environment. Do you think your country is a safe place to go around and then live well?
Well, if you don't go to certain areas, it's obviously going to be safe. But sometimes it is dangerous to walk in certain areas, especially of the night.
Yeah.
I personally would like to avoid it whenever possible.
Mm. One of the horrific experience that is not happen to the person itself as parents, yeah, but suddenly they have to deal the horrific experience that to deal with the children, son or daughter that got drugs, being drugs, and then that happened in the outside of the house, yeah. How do the teenagers can explain the situation regarding their environment, kind of like school or friendship outside? How come that happened?
How can
Yes, how can that
it's decently hard.
I mean, the school quite busy,
It's
yeah.
decently hard.
The school quite busy, but how can it happen like in the teenager's life? Because it happened mostly in the teenager's environment.
How do I deal with this problem?
Isn't that appear in your
So I
surroundings, sir?
guess I myself live in a good neighborhood where it's very rarely for there to be anyone that would have bad intentions, but I can definitely see it happening, however.
Okay. Also in your school, yeah? No. Okay. So
No, not
that
in my
mean, yeah, that mean
school.
the school is stable, yeah? There are certain situation in certain countries who are very developed, such as Hong Kong, Canada, and America. They were collapsing. They are collapsing, not they were collapsing, due to the math, the one that easily being distributed among the students and collegians. Math, yeah, that is something that is destroying really the whole city, especially in Canada, Vancouver. So it's kind of like becoming that city from the richest city in Canada, Vancouver. So it's just another insight, yeah, for you to understand. So because the question in IELTS, yeah, sir, it needs kind of like knowledge about what happened in the world, and then you give your opinion regarding that. Okay. In case you don't know the situation, and then you can just make a comparison between the good one and then the worst one, like that. Yeah, because the topic can be related to drugs, healthcare, or even marriage, even politics, something like that. Yeah, which you have to say it related to the word. Yeah, not to our own situation. Okay. Yeah. Later on, we will practice again. Yeah. Reading can make everything easier. Yeah, to answer the questions related to ASTRI in IELTS. So the young students that usually still grade 10, 11, and 12, yeah, they are complaining about the castry, yeah, because how should we know? The questions are so many. The questions will be about 9 questions in between